You made a promise last week. You know exactly which one. And the second I said that, something in your chest did this little thing. Like a notification you've been ignoring for 6 days. You promised you'd call back. You promised you'd start Monday. You promised yourself, that this time would be different. And now it's whatever day it is. And that promise is just vibing in the corner of your brain, collecting dust next to your gym membership and your "I'll do it later" note from 2019. And here's the wild part. You're not even a bad person. You're just a regular human being doing the most human thing that exists. Saying one thing, and then immediately doing something completely different. We literally built society on broken promises and somehow convinced ourselves we're doing fine. So today we're asking the actual question. What if you just didn't? What if you physically, psychologically, socially could not break a single promise ever again? For real, bro, here, where we say what no one else will. And before you think this ends with keep your word, be a better person, drink water, it doesn't. Because what actually happens when you never break a promise again is so much more messed up than you think. And it starts with the one promise you forgot you already made. Part 1. The promise you're already drowning. You think you make like 5 promises a week tops. You don't. You make hundreds. And most of them, you don't even remember making. I'll be there. I'll look into it. Let's do this soon. Yeah, I'll send that over. Give me 5 minutes. That last one. Give me 5 minutes. You've never once taken 5 minutes. Not once. It's either 30 seconds or 3 hours. There is no 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a lie we tell people so they don't panic while we spiral. Here's what nobody tells you. Promises are not just the dramatic ones. The big, "I'll always be there for you" ones. No. Promises are the micro-commitments you scatter everywhere like someone dropped a bag of confetti in your brain. Every "I'll try," every "sure, probably," every "don't worry about it." That's a promise. A soft one. A little invisible one. But it registers. People track this stuff, not consciously. But something in their nervous system keeps a tab. And when the tab doesn't get closed, it stacks. And you wonder why someone's been weird with you for 3 weeks and you can't figure out why. Now multiply that by every relationship you have. Your friends, your family, your coworkers. The group chat where you said, "I'm in," and then silently watched the event happen without you like a nature documentary. You are already drowning in promises you forgot you made. And now imagine you couldn't break a single one. Suddenly, things are about to become much bigger than you expected. Part 2. The 6 days of absolute unstoppable power. Okay, so day 1 of never breaking a promise? Honestly, kind of electric. You wake up, you say, "I'm going to drink water, eat breakfast, and reply to my emails." And you do it. All of it. Before noon. You feel like a superhero who finally activated their powers, and it's just being normal. That's the power. Being normal. Day 2, people start noticing. Your friend texts back, "Wait, you actually called." Your boss mentions, "You turned that in early." Your mom tells everyone at dinner that you've changed. You haven't changed. You just did what you said you'd do. But apparently that's rare enough to announce at dinner. Day 3, you feel genuinely invincible. Your word becomes this thing you trust completely. When you say you'll do something, it happens. No anxiety, no guilt, no dread. Just clean, executed decisions. Your brain stops leaking energy into the "I should probably" background noise that was running 24/7. Day 4, you realize you're becoming slightly terrifying to people. Because nobody knows how to handle someone who actually does what they say. It's too consistent. It's suspicious. Your coworker asks if you're okay. You are okay. That's the problem. By day 6, you feel like you could run a country. And then day 7 shows up. And day 7 is where everything breaks. Because the thing helping you is also about to start hurting you. And you didn't see it coming because you were too busy being so annoyingly reliable. Part 3. The trap nobody warned you about. Here's the thing nobody explains about being a person who keeps every promise. You stop being able to say no. And that sounds fine until you realize you're now incapable of leaving bad situations, bad conversations, bad decisions, and bad plans that you agreed to on a Thursday when you were tired. and just wanted everyone to stop asking. You promised to help your cousin move in July in Florida. You must go now. You are contractually obligated to yourself. You promised your friend you'd always be there. Now they're calling at 2 a.m. for the 4th time this week, and you, person who keeps every promise, pick up every time. Because that's what you said. And your sleep schedule slowly starts resembling a fever dream. But here's the real trap, the one that's actually sinister. When you never break promises, you start making fewer of them. You become incredibly selective. You stop saying, yeah, probably, because you know, yeah, probably is now binding. You stop saying, I'll think about it, because that becomes a commitment to think about it, and then report back with a decision, and honestly, that's a lot of pressure. And slowly, you start pulling back from people. Not because you're cold, but because every interaction now has weight. Every social exchange is a potential promise, a potential obligation, a potential thing you now have to do forever. You thought keeping promises would make you closer to people. Instead, you're now a very reliable person who somehow has less connection than before. You are now trapped inside something you thought you wanted. Part 4. The part where you become the problem. You've been reliable for 3 months. You haven't broken one promise. And you have slowly, accidentally, without meaning to, become absolutely insufferable. Not in a mean way, in the worst possible way, the quietly judgmental way. Because once you start keeping every promise, you start noticing everyone who doesn't. And you don't even say anything. You just notice with your face. Your friend shows up 40 minutes late, and you don't make a scene. But something behind your eyes does this tiny little reckoning. They feel it. Everyone feels it. You've become the person who makes other people feel bad about being normal. And you didn't do anything wrong. That's what makes it so maddening. And here's the contradiction that's going to sit in your brain for a while. Keeping every promise makes you deeply trustworthy. It also makes you deeply rigid. And deeply rigid people, no matter how reliable, eventually push away the people who need flexibility to feel safe. Because life doesn't run on promises. Life runs on intentions that occasionally survive contact with reality. And a world where every intention must be honored turns every mistake into a moral failure. Your friend cancels plans. Before, you'd get it. Now, somewhere deep down, you filed it. Not consciously. But the tab is open. It's loading. This is the self-sabotage you signed up for when you decided to become flawlessly reliable. You wanted trust, you got tension. There is one final truth nobody saw coming. Part 5. What promises were actually about the whole time okay? Here's the part where everything you thought you understood about promises turns out to be slightly wrong. We've always thought of promise keeping as a moral thing. It's about integrity, honor, character. The whole "your word is your bond" thing that sounds like it was stitched on a pillow in 1843. But here's what promises are actually about. And this is going to sound almost too simple. Promises are how we tell people they matter. Not the execution, not the follow-through. The original moment of saying, "I'll be there." That moment is someone saying, "You are worth a future version of me showing up." The promise isn't the point. The priority behind the promise is the point. And this is where it gets uncomfortable, because if that's true, then a broken promise isn't always a character flaw. Sometimes it's just evidence that something changed in someone's life that you weren't aware of. Their capacity shifted, their situation shifted, not because you don't matter, but because life is heavy and nobody tells you that in advance. We've been scoring people on execution when we should have been paying attention to pattern. One broken promise from someone who shows up 95% of the time? That's noise. The same broken promise from someone who shows up 20% of the time? That's the actual data. You've been treating promises like they're law when they were always meant to be in tension with stakes. And here's the callback that's going to hit weird. Remember day 6? When you felt like you could run a country? You were right. And that's exactly the problem. Because countries run on systems, not relationships. And you can't systematize love. You can't systematize friendship. You can't turn the people you care about into a productivity metric and then wonder why everything feels distant. The person who keeps every promise isn't more trustworthy. They're just more predictable. And there's a difference. The most trustworthy people you know, they've broken promises to you, they've apologized, they've come back and done something so unexpected, it recalibrated your entire understanding of what they're capable of. Because real trust isn't built on a streak. It's built on rupture and repair. On someone showing you that when things break between you, they come back. That's it. That's the whole thing. Never breaking a promise isn't actually about integrity. It's about the terrifying fear of what it means when you do. But the promise was never the point. The person was. Always was. So you can either spend your whole life obsessed with your streak, or you can be someone who actually shows up. Imperfectly, inconsistently, humanly, and means it every time. And weirdly, that person is easier to love. Drop in the comments the one promise you made to yourself that you'd like to pretend you never made. We're not judging. We're just keeping a list. Also, if you found this video useful, you clearly have terrible coping mechanisms, and you're going to need another one next week, so hit subscribe. It's basically the only promise I'll keep. You started this video thinking you were the problem. You were, but so was the promise. And honestly, that's kind of a relief.